Before we get to that, closer to home, the future plans for 7 schools in Richmond County.
And tonight, more parents got to weigh in on plans for Diamond Lakes, Goshen, Gracewood, and McBean elementary schools. They also talked about Hepzibah, Pine Hill, and Spirit Creek middle schools. Nick Veland live in our newsroom with a look at why the district says it has to make these changes.
Yeah, well, they're calling it a decision triangle. Richmond County schools have the options of having diverse program offerings, low operating costs, and small school sizes, but they can only choose 2, which is why they want to make their the most of their choices. It's a fluid plan in bold red letters at the start of the consultant company's presentation. Enrollment is dropping, which means fewer resources.
We have a lot of children in our schools that have 504s, that have medical issues, that need a full-time nurse in their school. Unless your school hit a certain number of children in your school, you don't have a full-time nurse.
Monique Braswell is running for the Richmond County School Board. She knows what these changes mean for the future, even if it means closing schools that have been around for generations.
History means everything to everyone. But at the end of the day, we have to think about these children and their history. We've had our history. So it's about these children at this point.
The school board will vote on March 19th, but only on next year's portion of the plan. Until then, they're hearing from parents like Mackie Sinkler. He has 3 kids in the district. He sees the resources on the table if these changes take place. But he wants more specifics on what's going where.
I understand the cost piece of it, and I understand, I guess, the math behind what they're trying to drive to. My concern is, right now, there's a clear plan on maybe the reorg, but not a clear plan on what specific benefits are going to result from this reorg.
And wants it in writing to make sure that when the state funding comes in, the diverse programs come with it.
It would be a lack of accountability in a year, 2 years from now, when we have to look back and see, you know, what actually was good came from these reorgs. And that's hard to identify if you're not being specific up front.
More meetings mean more opportunities to figure out the best way to move forward.
They wanted to get all the input. They have never done a meeting like that to where the people could stand up there and say exactly what they needed to say ever.
And there were some changes to today's presentation based on what they heard yesterday, and the consulting group and the district will meet tomorrow to figure out the best way to go into tomorrow's meeting at Tut, which will focus on Langford and Tut middle schools.
A lot of big changes and a lot of big decisions at stake. Nick, thanks for bringing us up to speed. To weather